Morning, I'm Lieutenant Michelle Sabino, the spokesperson of Anti-Cybercrime Group. I think your question is about the SIM card registration law. So we at ACG supports the passing of the law kasi it would help us a lot when it comes dun sa mga cybercrimes natin, because we all know that most of the crimes being done now is done through online. Parang crime of the millennium na itong mga cybercrime. So with the passing of the SIM card registration law, matutulungan niya kami on our part sa ACG. Because usually, cyber criminals employ their tactics or online scam, especially when it comes to the buying and selling of stocks na nagkakaroon tayo ng online fraud. So pag napasa tong SIM card registration act, law, it would help us a lot kasi determine na natin kung sino yung suspect, yung possible na gumawa ng crime, and then later on mapapabilis yung process. Because usually yung mga cyber criminals gagamitin nila, let's say, ang SIM card, which can be easily purchased, like how much, 20, 30 pesos per SIM, and then after using it to scam other people, they just throw it away. So with the SIM card registration law, alam mo na kung sino. You already identified na natin kung sino yung perpetrator, and then we can go about the process of investigating para makakuha pa tayo ng more evidence para mas mabilis for us to do this. And another thing kasi with ACG, isa sa mga factors na nahihirapan kami. Sometimes we already know the number, but it's not enough. We have to know kung sino yon, because otherwise hindi natin siya mapafile ng case. So anong ginagawa ng ACG? Naghihingi kami ng warrant to disclose computer data or yung identity ng tao. And it takes some time. So minsan yung court would grant us, minsan hindi. So with the SIM card registration, dire-diretso na mas mapapabilis yung trabaho namin sa ACG. So that's for the SIM card.
Ma'am, ilang cases ba ang hawak mo ngayon na iniimbestigahan na involved using yung mga SIM cards na identified?
I don't have the data with me right now, but mostly yung mga financial institutions na gumagamit ng ng SIM card. I cannot name them, diba? So,
pero paano yung mga usual modus na mga kaso na
usually, ang ginagamit nila is like, for example, si scammer, two types eh. It's either the scammer pretends to be the buyer or the seller. So pag seller, ang ginagawa ni scammer is magsasell siya online, and then once na nagkaroon kayo ng agreement to purchase it, magsasend ka ng money financially, and instantaneously marireceive mo yung money. After na-receive mo yung pera, hindi mo na makokontak si seller. That's for the seller part. Sa buyer naman, ganun din, they transact online, and then ang ginagawa naman nila is parang they issue checks or ganon. Tapos pagdating nung the following day, the check would bounce. So dun naman pumapasok na si buyer naman ang nagiging scammer. So hastily they would request for the delivery of the goods and the items, and then after a while mafa-find out nung company na magba-bounce yung check. So that's for the part of the buyers naman as scammers.
So most of the cases, ma'am, mga business, online business ang involved?
Sa SIM card? What are we talking about?
Yung mga hinahawakan yung kaso, mostly puro online
Well,
business.
ang cybercrime kasi is any crimes that happens in the cyber world. So, it can be online estafa, it can be theft, it can be yung robbery, extortion, love scam. So, basta nangyari yung crime within the cyberspace, that's us. So, all the local courts, they save din naman, kahit libel o whatever, na nafa-file natin sa court. But once it is done through cyberspace, we can come in there. So it would always fall like in relation to Section 6 of 10175, RA 10175. So the same din, except na ang specialty ng cybercrime is nangyari siya online, cyberspace.
Regarding sa law, the PNP, natap na ba yung PNP ng ibang agency? When yung law na ipasa na? Kasi
I do not understand na tap, because kami sa ACG, we are pushing for it. Actually, kami yung isa sa mga nagsusog niyan for it to ano, para magkaroon ng law regarding it. Because it would help us a
Kaya
lot.
lang may mga loopholes na katulad ng privacy nila, users.
Yeah, yung mga kumukontra sa law, that's what they say, na mababiolate yung privacy nila. But we have to understand, parang regular lang naman yan na parang sa telecommunications company. If you remember before, hindi pa uso mga cellphones, we use the landline, right? And there's always a public directory that is accessible to all. So what's the difference? It's the same, except that we do this over our mobile phones. So, wala naman siguro tayo naging problema before when it comes to privacy. So, I don't think lang on our part na mas malaki yung, I think the pros would overweigh kung ano mang consequences that we have or hesitation regarding the passing of the law.
Ma'am, meron, pag sakali po bang maisabatas na to, magkakaroon po ba ng, sabi na, interagency na siya tututok dito like the ACG, NBI, and the National Privacy Commission para ma-address yung sinasabi ng mga kumukontra dito, para ma-debunk yung sinasabi ng mga kontra dito na malalabag yung privacy ng isang tao. Kasi kung lalo na pagdating sa data collection, mas magiging synchronized yung sharing of information.
Okay, ang PNP naman is always like interconnected with the different agencies. So when it comes to protection, hand in hand, we always coordinate with one another. So definitely, ma-assure na we will always work hand in hand with the different offices of the government. So syempre, iba-iba yan. So lahat yan magtutulungan. And there's always a request and we always answer request. The same goes through with the other government offices na who can be involved in the process.
Ma'am, curious lang ako sa efficiency rate ng ACG na yung hindi pa ito na ipapasa. Gano'ng kataas yung percentage natin sa pag-accomplish ng crimes internet? And also, ano yung mga top crimes na sinusolve ng ACG involving the cyberspace?
Okay, ngayon, ang maraming cases na hinahandle namin sa ACG is usually with regards to swindling estafa. That's Article 315 in relation to Section 6 of RA 10175. Kasi ngayon nga, ang dami-dami ng mga fraud na buying and selling online. And another one is yung identity theft na minsan kasi nahahack yung mga Facebook and then yung mga social media accounts and then in return, after na-hack, they would solicit money from the friends nung na-hack na individual. So, isa siya sa mga marami nowadays. And then another one is yung sa loan app scam. This is done like through advertisement also in social media na nag-entice dun sa mga usually yung mga low earners to loan. Tapos ang binibigay nilang amount is actually ang laki ng interest. So let's say for 1,000 parang 700. And then ibabaon ka na, they would ask if you cannot pay kasi like 12 days yata or something. So pagka hindi ka nakabayad, i-invite ka na naman nila to go loan to another one which is also one of their companies din. So isa rin sa maraming umiiyak.
Kamusta naman yung accomplishment rate natin sa pag-solve ng ganun kayo?
Well, usually kasi sa mga cases na hinahandle namin, we do entrapment. So pag nagpunta sa amin, definitely we do actions. Ngayon, kung mahuhuli natin, usually naman nahuhuli kasi entrapment, we follow the money, but we cannot go into the details of how we do it. Otherwise, malalaman na nila how we do it. Nakukuha naman natin sila.
I don't know kung natanong na, ano po ba yung yung kaso na may pinakamaraming naitala sa inyo na
RA 315, swindling,
na swindling?
estafa or swindling.
Ma'am, ngayon hindi pa epektibo yung batas. Gaano kahirap para sa inyo?
Well,
Para i-handle yung mga ganitong cases?
Well, mahirap, but we have to do what we can, di ba? Like we said, katulad sa bangko naman, di ba? Parang if we would relate it doon, kailangan namin ng warrant to disclose computer data, yung information. Because without the identity, it's hard to file a case. Hindi mo naman pwedeng sabing si Wandel, di ba? I mean, kailangan natin ng specific person na sasampahan natin ng kaso. So, very important siya talaga sa amin.
So, may na-file na ba kayo ng kaso? Dahil nga, without
Yes,
the
yes.
identity, kahit wala pa yung batas, may mga na-file
Not without the identity. Like what I said, it's a long process. Hahaba lang sa amin. But definitely, we can file. And we file. With the right, with yung evidences na nakuha namin and everything, we can file. Marami kami mga cases. It just takes a while. It takes a lot longer than kung meron na. Kasi, masya-shortcut ng konti yung process. Okay na po. Okay, thank you.
Salamat po kay Lieutenant Sabino for a very well explained what ACP. Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, with us is no other than Chief FA of the PCOL,
Good morning.
the General of the Delvo. And introduce ko lang po, we have here the members of the press corps, si Mark Gabriel of Net 25, TV4 Set, si Bernardo, J. Mark Tagalog of DWIC, Mark Macalala of DCBB, si Lloyd Caliwan po, PNA, and third annual launch of Sunstar. Meron din po tayong cameraman from CNN and ABS-CBN set. So,
Okay. Sige. Good morning, everyone. I am Police Brigadier General Alden Delvo, the Chief of the Firearms and Explosives Office. We have here right now the streamlined processes of the online LTAP application and the firearms registration, no? And to ease the burden of gun owners, like some of us here, the PNP through the Civil Security Group launched the streamlined online applications of license to own and possess firearms, or LTAP, and firearms registration. We're doing this to streamline the systems and procedures of processing the LTAP and firearms licenses to ensure that these are delivered in the shortest time. It also aims to create an online system that is user-friendly and accessible to clients, as well as to ensure the data and information security. So, under our new system right now, the firearm registration is streamlined and simplified to 7 easy steps only. And applications can be completed in less than a day. That is, if you provide the necessary requirements, no? And likewise, clients will receive an SMS, no? We will directly notify you of every transaction to inform our clients of the status of their application. And to ensure that the new system is readily available to clients, the CSG has established courtesy lounges. Probably some of you went to the one-stop shop and nakita yung courtesy lounges there. And right now, we are doing it regionally. We have launched courtesy lounges at the RCSUs, or the Regional Civil Security Units, nationwide, which the intention is to provide, of course, convenience and quality services. Itong mga lounges na ito, and the OSS also has fast lane to accommodate senior citizens, PWDs, incumbent, appointed, or elected government officials, and retired personnel from the uniformed services. So, we are optimistic that with this implementation of our projects, clients will be provided with a convenient and pleasurable experience in the processing of their licensing requirements, as ordered by the Chief PNP, of course. So, ayun. So, meanwhile, a lot of us were asking about the measures to extend the LTAP and the registration to 5 years or 10 years. So with that, it was already approved by the Congressional Bicameral Committee, jointly headed by, of course, Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa at the Senate panel, and Representative Narciso R. Bravo of the House of Representatives panel. fixing the validity of firearm registration and LTAP to 5 years or 10 years at the option of the licensee, which shall be reckoned doon sa birthday ng licensee. The papers right now is for approval for the president. But alam niyo naman na in such a time na hindi niya ibebeto ito, it becomes a law in itself. So we're waiting for that, and then after that we will create the IRR, or the implementing rules and regulations with regards to that bill. Okay? So with this, when it becomes a law, licensee or firearm holders will be given longer time to possess their firearms, unless it will be revoked or canceled for reasons. Okay? My last line, as a reminder to all citizens with expired licenses, in our drive to account all firearms, as a directive also of the Chief PNP, all citizens with expired firearm registration and LTAP must renew their LTAP and registration to avoid violation of law. Marami nandyan na nakakatok, no? And sometimes it will cause troubles for our citizenry if you are holding firearms that are expired, or especially those or illegal firearms which are not registered. So qualified applicant may visit our online account, www.feo-system.com, and to create their online account or renew their licenses and registration online. Thank you very much. Any questions? Huwag masyadong mahirap.
Sir,
Yes.
may naging pronouncement lang si Comelec Commissioner George Garcia na pag-aangin daw yung pagbibigay ng firearm exemption sa gun ban. May ano na po ba, may coordination, may nakipag-ugnayan po ba ang Comelec sa inyo po in particular, since ang inyo pong opisina ang siyang namamahala po sa pag-release nitong mga exemption at yung pag-aayos dito sa mga lisensya po ng mga baril?
Oh yes, we actually have our liaisoning with Comelec every week, because we always send them papers for like permit to transport. Yan ang pinakamarami. So to answer your question, we always coordinate with them. Every week we have a meeting with them also, together with the division chiefs of the FEO. Thank you.
Sir, kamusta yung turnout ng mga nagre-register? Kasi di ba may gun ban, yung iba hindi aware na pwedeng mag-register kahit may gun ban. Kamusta yung turnout niya?
It's okay. No? They still renew their firearm, because we always tell them through text messages and the social media that registration of firearms is still ongoing. Hindi naman na-hamper yon because of the Comelec gun ban. No, tuloy-tuloy naman yung pag-issue natin ng registration or firearm licenses, and those who have expired licenses and registration can apply. They can easily apply online. So yung ano lang, the buying of firearms, yun lang, medyo ngayon dumadalang, because we cannot release it to them because it's gun ban right now, but they can still buy, but yung release is after the after the election ban. Thank you very much.
Sir, yung extension ng validity ng license, anong magiging pros and cons nito sa inyo? Anong nakikita niyo?
No, actually, it's a better option, no? Yung 5 to 10 years. The longer that you can possess, you have an LTAP, is better. Dahil sa ngayon kasi, parang na-overlap. Like, if your LTAP will be expiring, and then you still have that registration, which is already still valid, na-overlap nung expiry ng LTAP, parang pagka na-expire yung LTAP mo, you don't have any authority and license to own or possess a firearm. So yung registration ng firearm mo is magiging invalid din. So dapat yung LTAP should be, for me, should be more than the license. It should, the registration, it should be 10 years, and then probably the registration is 5 years. Anyway, we will craft that after the President has signed it into law, or if he does not veto it, we have actually crafted the IRR, but it's still a draft. Thank you very much.
Sir, yung pinaikli yung sistema pala, balikan ko lang yan.
Yes,
Ano
sir.
yung mga particular na nabago rin, sir? Yung
Okay.
7-step, 7 easy step.
Okay. So these are the 7 steps, no? First, this actually in the works already. Okay. Step 1, you create an online account through yung sinabi ko kanina na www.feosystem.com, and then you have to register. Then step 2, you proceed to the one-stop shop or the RCSU in the region for that matter for the actual evaluation and uploading of required documents. Applicant may proceed for neuropsychiatric test or drug testing. So every applicant, kahit na online, no, sabihin natin na no contact policy tayo, but you should still have to come to the OSS or RCSUs for the neuropsychiatric testing and the drug test. And then step 3, online evaluation of FEO and assigned to online evaluators. Ma-assign kayo ng evaluators. Step 4, this is the approval of the Chief FLD, which is under me, the Firearms and Licensing Division, and then through my office, the Chief FEO, yours truly. And step 5, you will receive a notice of payment that will be sent to the applicant's FEO online account, and then payment will be made through the Land Bank of the Philippines. Okay? Soon enough, you can also pay online, no? And then step 6, uploading of proof of payment to the FEO online account and select mode of delivery. If you want it delivered, or you want to pick it up at the FEO office, it's up to you. Then step 7 is the printing and release of the LTOF card. That's the 7 steps, sir.
Sir, ano yung mga inalis niyo compared sa old system?
Well, dun sa old process, meron tayong approval of Chief FLD assigned to FLD evaluator, and then may tatlo tayong ano doon. When you create an online account, in the old form, pupunta ka pa sa, let me see, yung notice of payment will be sent to the applicant's FEO online account. And then, babalik ka pa ulit dun sa OSS RCSU for the Euro drug test before the approval. Parang umikot kasi nung una eh. It's supposed to be 9 steps. Actually, konting bagay lang, pero at may streamline pa rin natin. Yes, sir.
So, balikan ko lang nabanggit ko kanina, marami na kayong nakapakama, no? So,
Yes.
mga gun holders na expert na yung kanilang license sa firearms. Ilan nag-start yung offline katong natin at kamusta yung tinatakbo ng operasyon, nung pagkatok natin sa mga bahay?
It has been ongoing for quite some time now. Hindi lang naman yan ngayon yung Oplan Katok. Oplan Katok has been an ongoing project of the Philippine National Police for quite some time now. And ang ginagawa nila pag nakakatok sila, most of them surrender their firearms to the police stations for accounting. And then, if ever naayos nila yung registration nila and LTOF nila, it will be given back to them.
So sir, ngayong election season, pinaigting nyo lang?
Oh yeah.
Okay, sir. Then, meron
Yes.
tayong data, sir, kung gaano karami na yung mga nag-surrender ng firearms sa June offline ka?
Malaki yun. I don't have that data right now, but I can provide you with that one, specific data with andun sa Directorate for Operations sa DO.
For the
Yes.
process, once na makatok sila tapos nag-surrender sila, bibigyan sila ng acknowledgement receipt.
Oh yes. Oo.
At paano sir, pwede ba pa-elaborate yung process, sir?
Yes,
Offline ka?
Pag nakatok ka, and then you have that firearms, you go to the police station. Okay? you can be also be accompanied by the police if you want, no? And then ngayon talaga kailangan ka ng accompaniment of a police officer, and then you will give in a receipt, and so with the deposit of your firearm, it will be cleared already in your name that it is deposited in the police station, okay? And then if you opt to get the new LTOP or renew your firearms registration, and you show it to the police station that you have done the necessary requirements, your firearms will be given back to you.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, pag hindi nyo na find out doon sa address na na-release mo doon sa baril, anong next step ng FPO na ginagawa?
Okay, mostly kasi dun sa mga nakakatok namin ng mga addresses, those who are living there know probably the former owner or the rent, if they rented the house. Karamihan kasi nagko-complain yung house na nakatok at sasabihin nila, we are only renting this, and who are you renting it from? I'm renting it from this guy, and he says this number. So when we contact him, he says that that is my firearm, yes sir, and ganun. And most of them also sinasabi nila na nawala na rin yung firearm nila. Kung valid yung reason nila with affidavits and everything and the investigations of our investigators, nalalagay yan doon sa wanted lost.
Sir, yung po ba mga hindi nare-renew ng firearms? Halimbawa, matagal na siyang hindi na-renew. Kino-consider po ba yun as loose firearm?
As loose, you mean?
Pag hindi, pag matagal na siyang hindi nare-renew,
Yes.
ituturing
Yes.
po siyang loose.
Yes, and the way to cure this one, at mayroon naman tayong move to do this is yung natin, firearms amnesty. The final firearms amnesty, and it is in the works also right now. So that pagka natapos itong natin, and it will be signed into law, the final firearms amnesty, is yun talagang nagmamay-ari or the holding firearm that have LTOP, expired or not. Of course, they want to register it, the loose firearms. But yung iba na illegally holding it, like lawless elements, sila na talagang humahawak diyan. Like after the final firearms amnesty, yun na talaga yon. Kaya sabi nga, it's already a final.
Sir, gaano katagal ang binibigay na palugit ng PNP para ma-renew agad itong mga firearms, mga lisensya nitong mga firearms na to, para hindi sila ma-consider as loose firearms?
Well, wala sa batas yun, but I believe 6 months to a year that they will not be registering it, we will consider it as loose firearms already.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, other issue pa. Sir, kamusta yung verification ng baril ng anak ni Congressman Evers? Ilang firearms?
Okay. I saw that LTOP of his. I cannot recall how many firearms he has, but it is positive yon na he has an LTOP and he has firearms registered to his name. And hindi naman expired yung niya, LTOP and registration of firearms.
Then after
But he has.
After the incident, sir, may process na ba kayo ng revocation? May nag-file ba ng reklamo?
The investigation right now is with I think the Caloocan Police and the CIDG. Las Piñas Police, stand corrected, and the CIDG. So after that investigation, we have also our board of revocation for that matter.
Pero sir, may possible na ma-revoke since it's gun ban.
Ma-revoke?
Oo.
Of course, there's a possibility, but we have to do the processes. Thank you.
So walang separate investigation ng FEO?
No, we have an investigator that is coordinating with Las Piñas Police and CIDG. So hintayin mo muna natin yung nila, final result, and then i-review ng board namin yan to revoke it. So hindi naman natin pwedeng show it on TV, division chief, revoke it.
Yung witness, sir, tinry niyo ba na i-invite din kasi siya yung sabi nakakita na
Actually, yung investigator namin, as I have said, nakipag-coordinate na rin sa CIDG. And all those documents na makukuha ng CIDG and Las Piñas Police, we will weigh it for the probability of revoking his firearms license. Thank you.
Sir, samantalahin ko na nandito kayo. Na-review niyo na po ba kung may LTAP din yung Vice Mayor ng APRA na nasangkot po sa ano kahapon?
Let me call Jean Fajardo with this one kasi siya ang ano niyan. Or maybe later on. So hindi ko pa na-check yun. Ayan. But I'll check that and provide you with the document. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, yung government detail, anong baril ni anak ni Congressman Teves? Kung ano yung-
Ay, hindi ko ano but I have it in the office kanina pero hindi ako pwedeng mag speculate or specify kasi marami din siyang baril eh.
Kahit later, sir, baka pwede namin
Yes. Sige, give us a number and then
sir.
okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you po.
I-provide ko lang sa inyo ito mamaya, plus yung mga steps, plus yung sa'yo. Pero sa ngayon, si Ma'am Jing muna. So, i-ready na lang yung katanungan. Si Ma'am Jing yung lahat na
Anong issue ba?
madami.
Dami issue, no?
Okay, ready na ba?
Sige, manat.
Sige, good morning ma'am. Okay, opening statement.
Wala na, diretso na tayo.
Diretso na tanungan.
Ma'am, hingi lang kami ng update doon sa incident sa kung na po yung investigation.
Sa ngayon, sir, no, naka-cordon pa rin yung area, particularly dun sa labas ng compound. And as of this morning, we received information na wala na yung ika nga ina-expect natin na negotiation para isurrender sana nila yung iba pang mga occupant ng Toyota van na ika nga ay nakipagputukan dun sa ating mga kapulisan at pati yung mga barel. Yun kasi yung ika nga yun yung hinihingi ng PNP para makapagpatuloy sila ng ginagawang investigation. However, as of this morning, we have information na wala na yon at nandun na rin yung abogado nila. They will just face whatever cases that the PNP will file against those involved in this incident.
Ma'am, ano ba yung specific information na natanggap ng PNP kaya nagsagawa ng checkpoint?
So prior to the setting up of checkpoint, marami nang na-receive na intelligence report ang Police Regional Office sa Cordillera, particularly yung ating PPO na may mga existence na ng mga armed group dun sa lugar na yon. That prompted them to establish additional checkpoint since may mga insidente na nga at may mga report na nga. So nung nangyari yon, talagang yung ating mga kapulisan doon sa Abra ay nagko-conduct ng kanilang regular checkpoint, including yung ating mga itinatag na mga PNP COMELEC checkpoints.
Ma'am, natukoy ba kung sino yung driver ng SUV?
Sa ngayon sir, yun nga sir yung ating hinihingi sana na kooperasyon dito sa kabilang partido dahil yun ang ating hinihingi sa kanila na isurrender yung nagda-drive nung van na sumagasa dun sa dalawang pulis natin na nasaktan plus iba pang mga nakasakay doon na nakipagputukan. In fact, pinutukan yung mobile natin at may tama nga sa windshield. However, as of this morning, yung negotiation failed because they refused to surrender nga yung mga occupants ng sasakyan, pati na rin yung mga baril ng mga nakasakay doon.
May namatay dun sa kampo nila?
Yes po, positive po yun. May isang namatay at kahapon nga po mga bandang alas 7 ng gabi ay pinayagan na po yung investigador po ng Pilar Municipal Police Station at yung ating mga SOCO personnel para po maiprocess yung confirmed dead po na isa plus yung sasakyan nga po na na-involve dito sa insidente na ito. At na-identify na rin po yung namatay doon at confirm po na bodyguard po ni Vice Mayor Disono. Isa po siyang ex-Marines, na-enlist po siya noong 2008 but awol na po siya since 2014.
Na-establish ba ma'am kung isa to sa mga nagpaputok sa mga?
So mag-undergo ng processing yon during the autopsy, kukuhanan siya ng parapin test to confirm kung isa siya doon sa pumutok. Lalong-lalo na yung nakatama doon sa mobile natin at doon sa ibang mga pulis na pinutukan. And aside doon sa confirm na isa, ay may nakuha din, may na-recover din na isang baril doon sa loob ng van na ginamit nitong mga nagpaputok sa ating mga kapulisan.
License po ba yung mga baril?
Yung na-recover po na 9mm pistol ay nakarehistro po kay Vice Mayor Disono.
Isa pa po.
Yun po yung na-recover, sir.
Ayun.
Opo. Yung 9mm pistol po.
Registered naman yun, ma'am.
Yes po. Nakarehistro po.
Ma'am, paano ba nagsimula yung puto? May sinasabi kasi yung kampo nila, pinaputukan daw nila. Kaya nilapasan siya.
At around 8 a.m., so nag-establish na ng checkpoint yung ating mga pulis at mga bandang 10:30 nga ay dumaan nga itong sasakyan na ito at as a matter of course pinapara ng ating mga pulis na nagmamanong checkpoint. However, yung driver refused to stop at dumiretso nga at sped off at nasagasaan pa nga, may dalawang pulis tayong nasagasaan doon at nasaktan at nung papalayo sila dahil nga may naka-standby na mobile doon, hinabol sila. So nung hinahabol sila, pinaputukan din itong mobile natin kaya nga may tama ito sa windshield at nagkaroon nga ng car chase at umabot na nga tayo, humantong na tayo doon na pumasok itong van sa isang compound na pag-aari ng pamilya ni na Vice Mayor Disono.
So after paputukan yung mga pulis, saka pa lang sila nag-rekalli?
Opo.
May nasugatan pa sa panig natin?
Unfortunately sir, walang nasaktan doon sa pagpapuputok sa atin except doon sa dalawang pulis na ay binangga nila nung sila ay they refused to stop doon sa stopover area.
Ma'am, ano bang status ng pila? Isa ba ito sa mga hotspot?
Alam naman natin sir, no, sa historical data will tell us na medyo mainit talaga dito sa Abra area, particularly pagka may mga local election tayo. So that being the case, yung ang Pilar Abra po ay nasa election areas of concern because they have a election-related incidents in the previous elections po.
Ma'am, nabanggit nyo kanina medyo hirap yung ating mga tauhan na imbestigahan ito dahil ayaw makipag-cooperate. Naipabatid na po ba ito kay DILG Secretary Eduardo Anyo since siya ho ang mas may direktang kapangyarihan dito ho kila Vice Mayor Sono bilang mga local chief executives po?
I'm sure our Chief PNP already reported to our SILG concerning this matter, and since the other party refused to cooperate with the ongoing investigation, the PNP intends to initiate appropriate police action to resolve this case, sir.
Ma'am, anong magiging strategy? Magdadagdag pa tayo ng deployment ng tauhan doon sa lugar?
As we speak, sir, no, naka-establish pa rin yung ating mga checkpoint doon, especially what happened dito sa insidente na ito. We expect na magkakaroon ng adjustment and with respect to the deployment so as not to escalate yung situation na nandun ngayon, and also to prevent any occurrence of any election-related incident, especially so nag-i-start na yung campaign period sa local level.
Ang tumatakbo po ba si Vice Mayor Rizal?
Yes, ma'am.
Election siya for Vice Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
Kung balikan ko yung firearms, meron ba silang public exemption?
Based po sa ating coordination sa Regional Director po ng Pro Cordillera ay wala pong na-receive ang Regional Director, including the Regional Office po ng COMELEC, any request for gun exemption as well as employment of protective security details, sir.
So ano pong magiging legal action ng PNP?
That will be part of the action that will be undertaken by the PNP concerning this case, considering na may mga na-recover. In fact, yung na-recover nga na barrel is registered kay Vice Mayor. And since while it is true that yung barrel ay may lisensya at he has the license to own and possess firearms outside sa residence, but alam natin during election period ay suspendido po ang lahat ng LTAP. So these are the possible cases that will be filed. I don't want to preempt the ongoing investigation, but definitely that is one of the action that will be undertaken by Abra Provincial Police Office.
Nakikita niyo ng possible cases po? Ano na yung mga possible cases na nakikita niyo?
Definitely, may gun ban ngayon, election offense yun, considered election offense, plus although lisensyado at rehistrado yon, pwede pa rin siyang makasuhan ng iba pang cases. Again, yung nabanggit ni Sir, maaari din nating tignan, maaaring may administrative liability din with respect to the Vice Mayor for employing bodyguard without the authority or exemption from the COMELEC. But again, like I said, sir, no, I don't want to preempt the result on the investigation. We will let's look and all see what will be the development in this case.
Other issues?
Ma'am, other issues lang. Confirmay lang sa namin sa inyo, narinig na po ba yung Provincial Director ng Pampanga dun sa kaso nung alleged robbery extortion dun sa 10 sabungero na hinuli daw ng mga pulis?
Again, sir, no, under the doctrine of command responsibility, all field commanders are responsible for the actions of their men. So, dahil nga po naugnay po yung 10 pulis po dito sa alleged robbery dito sa isang sabungan dito sa Pampanga, ay yun po ay nagresulta sa administrative relief ng Provincial Director ng Pampanga, including po yung chief po ng Provincial Intelligence Unit po ng Pampanga.
Ma'am, yung kaso na yun ay sinasabi po na dahil nangyari ito sa isang compound, tapos yung mga police nasaan na po sila ngayon? Naka-account po ba sila dun sa regional headquarters o sa provincial headquarters para harapin yung kasong isinampalaban sa kanila?
Narilib na po yung 10 police officers na na-involve dito sa insidente na to. Nakasalukuyan po silang nandun sa regional personnel admin holding unit ng Camp Olivas, at sila rin po ay dinisarmahan na pending investigation, at may kakaharapin din po silang administrative case that is aside from the criminal case that was filed against them before the prosecutor's office.
So bukod dun sa kaso sa prosecutor, meron na rin pong sabi nga ongoing investigation from the IAS naman?
Tama po yun, sir, to determine the extent of their administrative liability with respect to the questionable police operation they conducted against the complainant, sir.
Ma'am, last na lang sa my part. Balikan ko lang yun doon sa checkpoint. As a matter of public service, paalala lang ho natin sa publiko, ano ba yung mga dapat at hindi dapat gawin sa tuwing dadaan sa mga checkpoints?
Yes sir, no. Muli kaming umaapela sa ating mga kababayan dahil umiiral pa po yung ating gun ban exemption. Kaya ika nga lahat po ng munisipalidad ay meron pong itinatag na PNP COMELEC checkpoint. So kapag kayo po doon ay dadaan ay 30 minutes away from the inspection area ay makikita nyo na po yung malaking signages ng PNP. May mga pulis na po na ika nga ay nakikiusap at nagre-request na mag-minor sila. So 20-30 minutes away from the inspection area, medyo mag-minor na po kayo at magbaba na po kayo ng bintana. Again, we would like to reiterate yung inspection po ng PNP will be limited sa visual inspection po. Hindi po kayo po pwedeng pilitin ng ating kapulisan na buksan ang anumang compartment ng inyong sasakyan, be it the glove compartment or the luggage compartment, unless of course they have reasonable ground to believe na meron pong nangyayaring krimen doon sa loob ng sasakyan o may nakita po sila in plain view na mga kontrabando gaya po ng barel that would require a further search. So once nakababa na po yan, titignan lang po at during sa gabi, mas lalo po tayong mag-ingat dahil nga po gabi, minsan may mga lugar tayong dinadaanan na madilim, but be assured sir na yung ating mga checkpoint ay nakatatag naman sa mga well-lighted areas. Kaya pag kayo ay dadaan sa gabi, buksan nyo na po yung cabin light para makita po yung laman ng loob. At once makadaan na po kayo sa checkpoint na wala namang magiging problema sir, ika nga lahat naman po yun ay yung ating PNP were already reminded to be courteous and make sure ma-explain nila sa ating mga kababayan na dumadaan sa ating checkpoint na iyon ay ika nga trabaho lang at parte ng kanilang deputation as ng COMELEC.
Question lang dun sa mga nawawalan sa bungero. May update tayo ma'am, latest number po. Ilan na po?
As of yesterday, I coordinated with sa ADG, 34 pa rin yung kanilang hawak na insidente comprising of 8 cases. So, iniintay nila ngayon yung resulta ng kanilang mga request for verification. Nakuhanan na rin nila ng statement yung mga pamilya relating dun sa insidente ng nawawalang master agent. If you can recall sir, no, yung March 18 ay nakapagsampa na tayo ng kaso sa DOJ relating dito sa Manila Arena incidents. And in the coming days, we expect na yung kaso relating dun sa pagkakawala o pagdukot doon sa palitang pagdukot dun sa master agents ay magkakaroon po ng linaw in the coming days po.
Okay. Ma'am, regarding naman dun sa instruction ni Chief PNP, yung mag-check ng cellphone ng mga pulis na naka-duty sa mga presinto kung nagsasabong ba, meron bang mga nasampulan na dun ma'am?
Sa ngayon sir, na ongoing yon, no? The field commanders were already directed by our Chief PNP to conduct random check para lang tignan kung may mga isabong apps dun sa kanilang mga personal gadget at may mga mangilan-ngilan tayo understand na na-caution na at pina-erase na yon at ika nga they were sanctioned and reprimanded. With respect to the PNP personnel engaged and involved in illegal gambling, as of February 28 sir ay may na-file na po tayong 7 na kaso against sa mga PNP personnel nating engaged at involved dito sa isabong. Some of them were already dismissed, some of them were demoted and suspended for being engaged in illegal gambling, sir.
Ano po yung pinakamataas na rank o dun sa nabanggit ng naparusakan?
Mga ano po ito, sir, mga sarhento po. Yes.
Ma'am, tungkol doon sa bungero. Baka lang po kasi yung mga pamilya ng mga nawawala sa bungero until now hoping na meron pa rin signs of life. Meron na po ba?
As of now, sir, no, unfortunately, wala pa po tayong nakikita na any sign of proof of life. But just the same, kagtulad po ninyo, ng ating mga kababayan, lalo na po yung pamilya ng mga nawawalang 34 na cockfighting aficionado. Kami rin po, ang PNP po ay umaasa po na sila ay buhay pa rin po hanggang ngayon. Okay. Adjourn.
Paano na ganun din?
Wait ka na sir.